Hi, this is Pat from Oaks Archery. Today we're going to discuss archery point on distance. Sometimes it's called point on range, sometimes it's simply just called point on. And that's where, if you're sighting down your arrow, the tip of your arrow hits exactly where you're looking. Right? So there's a certain distance that happens. For every archer, it's specific to the bow and the archer. Right? And there's a lot of different factors that affect it. And so let's look at the model here and maybe we can help explain it. Okay, so this is going to be our arrow right here. Okay, the silver line, this is going to be the path of our arrow. As you can see, it curves, and the further out it goes, the more it curves. That's because the trajectory of the arrow starts dropping as soon as it leaves the bow. Gravity starts affecting it, and it starts dropping. Right? Line of sight coming from the archer's eye to where he's looking is dead straight. It's like a laser beam. Right? So your point on distance is where the two meet. And in this case, it meets right there in the center of the target. Okay? So some of the factors that will affect this is the strength of the bow. With the heavier draw weight bow will send an arrow further before it starts dropping. A lighter draw weight bow, it won't go as far before the arrow starts dropping. And the other factor is the weight of the arrow. A lighter arrow will obviously go further, and a heavier arrow won't go as far. So let's see how that affects it. Okay, so we're going to take the arrow and we're going to make it act like it's either a lighter bow or a heavier arrow. Either way, it's not going to go as far. And as you can see now, your point on range becomes closer to the archer. Right? So in the other instance, we're going to make it a stronger bow, or a lighter arrow, and either one is going to send it further. So now our point on range is further away from the archer. Okay? And one of the other factors that can affect your point on range is the length of the arrow, because you're looking down the arrow as your sight. So if your arrow is longer, and we're going to make this longer here, it's a bit exaggerated, but you get the point. And now we have to line the archer's line of sight up with it. Okay, so now the line of sight is at a shallower angle, so it'll change the path of where the two meet. So in this instance, let's make it a little bit lighter arrow. Your point on range is up here. Right? So a longer arrow will shorten your point on range if everything else is equal. Right? Stronger bow or a lighter arrow. Now you're back out here again for your point on range. Hopefully that helps clear it up a little bit and it makes a little sense. Point on range is very important when you're shooting either face walking, string walking, or gap shooting, because you have to know your point on range to know how to adjust from the point on range either up or down, depending on whether you're closer or farther from your target.